Hey guys, Rob from Rob's Model Cars, and today you join me for episode 25 of How It Was Made. This is the Pagani Zonda LM Roadster that I wanted to build a model of. So I was basically starting with a Pico 1/18 scale Zonda LM coupe. Now the idea was to chop the roof off, so we'll see how we go with that one. Now again, with the Pico models, you are able to scratch the decals off with just your fingernail. They are applied on top of the clear coat, and yeah, with a little bit of time, all the decals were able to be removed to take it back to its bare carbon fibre. Next thing was to start disassembling the model. So I first removed it from the base, took all the inners out, which is the axles, wheels and interior tub. If you've watched my other episodes, you'll see that these are just held in by dobs of hot glue and are easily removed. Roof scoop and the rear shark fin was removed to access the roof, and then all of the side and top windows were popped out of the model. I then used the Peak Roadster chinkway to work out where to make the cuts, and I got the Dremel out and I cut the roof off this model. Yes, very drastic, but this was going to work. Now I had to make a copy of the chinkway Roadster roof scoop, so I made some silicone molds and made these parts myself. That's my new cast part there of the roof scoop. Of course it has to be painted, and they are the rollover hoops also that are only in the Roadster, not the coupe. So that's one of the things that I had to do to complete this model, was make the parts. Now I had to remove the inner door trims so that I could get my Dremel inside the body to sand away all the cut marks of where the roof was, as you can see there, and I've also marked the front window. I'm actually changing the seats too, because the seats were different in the Roadster. Now I've basically sanded away the post areas of the old coupe and basically sanded the channels back to create the lip all the way around like the coupe. Now I've also added some sun visors under the windscreen and just some detail painting in matte black. This is just mocked up with the roof scoop sitting on top and the interior in there. Now the rear bulkhead of the interior pan is different on the coupe and the Roadster. The Roadster has a more of an angle, so I used the Dremel, ground away a lot of the resin, and then I put a piece of flat plastic sheet in there. And I also had to fabricate the bases for the roll hoops. So the one on the left is the factory part from Pico, and the one on the right is adapting some plastic tube as bases to hold the new rollover hoops. So this is basically converting the coupe interior tub into a Roadster interior tub. Now it didn't quite fit up underneath now that the roof is removed, so I added some Tamiya putty on the top to get a closer fit. Just going through some other parts here. These brake calipers need to be painted green, so I removed the photo etch part, painted the calipers green, and then glued the photo etch rotors back on. Back onto the interior here, you can see I've sanded the putty so it meets the bodywork better. Time for some carbon on the roof scoop and roll hoops. Sorry for the sequence of photos here, they're all over the place. And that's the final painted interior, ready for the extra parts there. So nice neat finish now to the underside of the body, just with some Tamiya putty. Now I had to add to these little braces because they didn't cast in resin. Added the carbon fibre decals to the rollover hoops, and next I thought I'd tackle the front hood. Now the Roadster LM does not have these hood vents, so I tried 4 different brands of carbon fibre. Hobby Designs carbon fibre was the closest to the Pico carbon fibre. I then filled the 2 scoops with some Tamiya putty, and this is how I make the templates for the carbon fibre decal. So again, this is the Hobby Design carbon fibre decal, which was the closest I could find to the Pico. It's nearly exactly the same, just slightly different. Now these are the braces for the rollover hoops. I just photocopied the original ones from Pico and I made new ones out of plastic sheet. This is the hood vents filled and sanded. You notice that I put tape on there so that I don't damage the surrounding areas when I sand. And the idea here is just to apply new pieces of carbon fibre just in the centre of the hood to cover where I have filled the old vents. So the right hand side's done there, and this is the other side done now as well. So the plan was to do that and then to clear coat over that to blend it into the rest of the glossy bodywork. Time to give the other parts some clear coat as well. So this was clear coated, but unfortunately I got quite a few bits of dust in it. The roof scoop came out really well, super glossy, and the rollover hoops as well, but definitely the front hood needed some more polishing work. This is the roof scoop and the rear fin put back, and this is the hood area that I've sanded back with wet and dry. Now I start with 1500 grit and work all the way up to 7000 grit. And then I polish it with a Dremel with a soft cloth wheel to get the shine back. Here I've glued my handmade braces onto the roll hoops, and I've used some lime green decal for the brake calipers. This is my lime green stitching for the seats, and I had to add some lime green rings to the outer edges of the rims. Tyres fitted back on, and again all these decals were made by tkdiecast.com. Roll hoops were glued back into the bodywork with the braces. I just had to paint the silver stripe on the front of the roof scoop, and seats are glued back into the interior tub ready to go back into the model. So again, just like they do it at the factory, some dobs of hot glue to hold it in place. The axles and the wheels were fitted back onto the model, and then to finish that side off, the rear floor plate and rear diffuser was fitted. Now all I had to do here was add the green body stripes, which were just again made by TK Diecast. These are just applied straight on top of the carbon fibre and a little bit of decal setting solution to hold them in place, and the big LM side logos were also added. So that was basically the final assembly of the model. It was refitted back on the base, ready for a little bit of hand polishing. And overall, I'd have to say I'm really happy with how the model came out. It was quite a challenge to fill the holes in the front hood, but the rest of the model wasn't too bad. So as you can see, it is quite possible to convert the coupe model to the Roadster. At the end of the day, none of these custom models are 100% perfect. I wish I could have got the exact match carbon fibre decal that Pico uses, but it just was not possible. I tried 4 different brands, but it is very close. It's just not quite as silver, the silver stripes on it. But at the end of the day, it is a custom model, and that is my Zonda LM. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and don't forget to check out my new range of merch. Support your boy on the channel, and until next time, thanks for watching Rob's Model Cars.